Hey, Trinity families. I'm excited for youth group this Sunday, January 25th. Coming at you with a few quick things for this Sunday, as well as some upcoming events. First and foremost, we're continuing our 4-week series in Hard Sayings, Good Savior, where we're going to be confronted by Jesus's tougher sayings, but also see that he's a good Savior, worth trusting and worth following. So, week 1, we talked about loving our enemies. Week 2, we talked about forgiving 77 times. And this week, we're looking at Jesus' call where he says, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. And so we're looking at this idea that Jesus is saying that we shouldn't seek comfort and acceptance and safety. Not that those things are bad in and of themselves, but that we need to be willing to lay down our lives, to be able to be uncomfortable, to suffer, to be rejected for the sake of others. That's what Jesus did. So we're going to look at Mark 31 through 38, as well as John 19, and see how Jesus goes before us as the one who endures rejection and suffering, who carries his cross, and ultimately experiences death. Now, that being said, last week I put in the email a little section on how to receive your teen from youth group. I would just encourage you all to read that section of the email, as this is a shift that I want us to start thinking about with the youth group. I want youth group to be fun. I want your teenagers to have a good time. But I also think that oftentimes when we're picking up our teenagers or when we're having conversations with them, the questions we ask communicate the values that we hold. And so if the first question that we're asking when they show up from youth group, either you're picking them up or they get home, is, was it fun? Then what we communicate is the most important thing was that youth group was fun. And so I want to invite you into a season of thinking a little bit more deeply about what your values are, and then begin asking questions that align with those values. And so some questions you might consider. What is one thing you learned about God tonight? Something new, something familiar, something that felt important. Was there a moment tonight when you sensed God's presence? What was happening in that moment? Did you have a conversation with someone tonight, a peer or a leader who helped you see Jesus more clearly? And how might you take a step towards a deeper relationship with that person? So just some suggested questions that you could ask as you pick up your teenagers from youth group. That being said, there's a few upcoming events. Winter Retreat 2026, February 13th through February 16th. That's over President's Day weekend. We'll leave Friday afternoon. We'll get home on Monday morning, as well as Camp Barnabas. That's obviously not until July. But that being said, Camp Barnabas, I got 11 registrations in 3 days. And so we've got 20 slots. So just really encourage you to sign up your teenagers as quickly as possible if your teenager is considering going, so I can ensure that we have a spot for them at Camp Barnabas this summer. Well, that being said, I'm looking forward to being with you all on Sunday, your teenager's Sunday night. God bless you.